Hi, I'm Dan Chen. I am a producer and director at Jubilee, and I've been working here for a few months. So since I've been here, I pitched and directed Side by Side, Time Capsule, and I directed 20 Verse 1, and just finished Mean Comments. I still feel like, regardless of what content you're making, digital, long form, short form, anything, that's just like the tip of the iceberg. What's underneath the ocean is like your heart and what your heart is telling you to care about at this moment that you can act on. And so the core of your idea should always come from you, an emotion in you, a question that you have that's on your mind you can't shake. That's like where the core of your idea should be. So, for example, and I started this series, Mean Comments, because I was literally looking through the YouTube comments section of our videos and being really frustrated that we're still not getting the people that we want to reach, or that we're not reaching everyone yet, which is obviously not possible, but it was like a frustration I had. So the fact that I couldn't shake that meant that I had to explore it in an idea. So I feel like no matter what digital space, blah, 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 all these outside things, like always start with what do you care about the most right now at this very moment, and can you talk about it in an interesting way? And then once you come up with that, and you have like the shape of an idea, what's important to think about when you're making something for the digital online space is to keep it focused. I hesitate to say simple because it's not about making something that's like, it's not about being simplistic. It's about being clear. It's a very important distinction. As sad as it is to say, it's also realistic to say, because you are also an internet user. How much time do you give a video before you click away to another video? When you're thinking about building off that core idea you have, always think about like, what's the simplest, most direct way I can access this idea? And if someone doesn't even know what your idea is and they can't explain it to someone else in one sentence, then chances are low that they're going to click on it in the first place. It's not like a you versus the world. It's literally about like the best way to get my idea out into the world is to like package it, just pierce through people's armor. So there's kind of like one concept that I did, Time Capsule. I mean, I still like it. That being said, it was basically filming 10 different people and giving them each 15 minutes of time alone with a camera. And because I kind of let them say anything they wanted to say, sometimes it was very poignant, sometimes it wasn't. And a lot of the burden was on the editor to shape it. I know with our series Middle Ground, it was a simple idea, the fact that they are on opposite sides and you have to say a statement, and if they agree with that statement, they come forward. It makes the debate very structured. And it would be more structured than if you simply put 6 people in a room and had them debate each other. It's not as simple, actually. It takes a lot of work to make something simple. Middle Ground would be easier to produce if it was just about 6 people in a room talking to each other with no structure, and you just let them go at it. And so I would encourage you to brainstorm with your fellow collaborators, act it out. Take your idea and then grab 2 people and say, let's do this really quick. And then after they do it, ask them, how did that feel? Was there anything that was awkward? Or was there anything that we can improve upon? And that'll be such a faster way to test an idea than to just be thinking about it. That homework will pay off in the end. So what makes a Jubilee video a Jubilee video? I think it's something that we ask ourselves every day, but we do have a few principles that we found work really well. One is Jubilee videos tend to explore the notion of having radical empathy. That is really connecting with people you didn't expect to connect to, or challenging yourself to feel compassion and relate to somebody that you would not normally be able to relate to. Simple version, someone cuts you off in traffic. Is your first thought, fuck you, or is your first thought, I wonder what they're going through? But in a very tangible way, you can look at Middle Ground for an example of people coming together and being challenged to see each other as human beings with real perspectives. There's also a notion in Jubilee videos to think in new ways and counterintuitive ways. Again, like having a dialogue with people you disagree with is not most people's first thing they think of when they think of what they want to do that day. But there's something counterintuitive about talking with people you disagree with that's actually really interesting to watch. So always try to think a little bit outside of the box. And then I think the final thing that makes Jubilee videos is we do try to foster greater love and compassion in the world. This doesn't have to be didactic. In fact, it probably shouldn't be. Or you're going to be making some like Mr. Rogers. Actually, Mr. Rogers is great. You're going to be making some cheesy stuff. You want to be effective. Yeah, just keep that in the back of your head. So at the end of the day, I think what ties all Jubilee videos' intentions together is that we just want to move people. But moving people isn't always making them cry. It can be, but it could also be making them laugh really hard and making them laugh so hard they share the video. It could mean making someone give someone a new perspective, like, oh, I never thought of that before, and that's why they feel compelled to share it with people. So don't think that Jubilee is a thing that you have to fit into. You can be a part of this conversation and be a part of what Jubilee will be. So always think from your core first, test it with each other, and let's make something great.